I will be very practical in this sense. And first of all, let me thank my colleagues which committed to this presentation. It is Lina Bloveščiūnienė, which is also one of the main authors of CRIS decision at Vytautas Magnus University, and Vilius Kučiukas, which is in chief of VMU Library IT Group. You probably can wonder what is CRIS. CRIS is abbreviation, and yesterday it was already mentioned. It is Current Research Information System, most of you probably know. And it was mentioned by a colleague from Ural Federal University in the last presentation that was given. He actually explained how it is possible to make decisions regarding cooperation using Current Research Information System. Indeed, my presentation will take another angle. I will talk not about decision-making, I will talk about visibility. So I like to begin with kind of case. I don't know why it is not working. Okay. So it is our case, and it is kind of small case, but we can work on it. In spring of this year, we indeed launched Vytautas Magnus University Current Research Information System, which is new, completely new. And what we noticed after that just in a few months, our one small indicator in one of rankings, which is Webometrics, changed quite significantly. I mean, web presence rank. You can see here, last year it was 572 like a place, yeah. 1 year before even worse. And now just after a few months we launched this new Current Research Information System. It's a small indicator, but still it is interesting that it changed so significantly. So in this presentation I just want to ask through 3 whys. Why we indeed care about web, why as academics we should care or not to care about rankings, let's say, and how CRIS can help or maybe could be a tool for our goals. And what is more probably important for this audience, that actually it is decision for not well-resourced universities from countries like post-Soviet countries, where state universities are funded quite badly, we should say. And we feel a bit unprivileged when we are ranked with other world universities, when they are probably sometimes resourced 100 times better than we. And we still are compared, benchmarked with those well-resourced old universities. So it is, I think, quite an interesting for not so rich universities decision, because we indeed asked no money from our administration for this project. We just restructured our resources we had. So if we talk about the web, of course web and brand of every company, including also as well universities, I think, is very important for the reputation. And as we know, and research shows that almost 80% of companies' values now comes from intangibles like soft knowledge, like know-how, like brand or reputation. So actually, in terms of university, strong web presence of the university also can show quite a lot of important factors which are related to the quality of the university. For example, like policies promoting democracy and academic freedom, competition for international visibility, support for open access initiatives, widespread computer resources, global internet literacy. It's indeed important factors that show that this university is of good quality. For representation of university or academy, I would say web may be as important as representation in material world. And that means that academies and universities also devote more and more resources for that in order to improve their presence on the web. And as I said, even for developing countries, it could be at quite modest cost, and it helps to enhance social role of the academia. So we maybe as academics not always love rankings, let's say, but international rankings, they become inescapable reality of higher education landscape. And it is also one of the hottest debates now in international higher education, and popularity is keeping growing, as well as criticism of rankings. And here we are, most of us, because of rankings. And rankings are published not only by QS, but also by Shanghai, Chicago, Leiden rankings, U multi-rank rankings, Times rankings, Webometrics, and so on. So we, as I said, maybe not love rankings, but on the other hand, the administration or administrators of higher education partially are to blame for rise in popularity of rankings, because we actually do not provide sufficient information about us, about universities and academy. And students indeed require this consumer information. They need comparative benchmarking data, the satisfaction surveys, comparison of employability, potential salaries, and so on. So rankings become like a tool for transparency and accountability. As well, governments are very interested in simplified information and comparative benchmarking information. It is increased emphasis of governments for value for money, efficiency of academy, performance-based funding, and that's why rankings heap a pressure on higher education institutions, and it is a tool even to gauge the success or failure of that institution. However, of course, would be better if authorities would not be mesmerized or obsessed by rankings, because of, as always, there are some methodological shortcomings, bias, possibilities of data manipulations, and other pitfalls. However, as I said, at least not so well-resourced universities or some regions, they are not always bad. Indeed, only very few universities can be the best, and actually it doesn't mean if you are not among the best universities that there are no other good universities. So if rankings privilege older, well-resourced universities, we should look for indicators that can help us to look more visible and to show our brand. So web indicators are these indicators that can help us. So I go to the current research information system as a tool. Actually, if you would imagine your web page and then the pages of your departments, your centers, institutes, professors, and researchers, is it indeed systematic, centralized, linked, profiled information? Here at our university, before launching this new current research information system, data was quite scattered. And it is indeed impossible to ensure visibility if data is not systematic, is not centralized, clean, and current. And for that, we decided to launch a current research information system, which is indeed picture of all data. If you will see in this picture, all smaller pictures, they have, for example, here is publication. Here could be department or institution. Here is scholar, group of scholars, project, funding institution. It could be stored repository publication, stored in repository publication, or raw data of some research. If there are no links between those pictures, it means that your your research data is not current and not centralized, and it doesn't help to be visible. So before taking decision how to make it, we analyzed different possibilities. Some of them were commercial possibilities, and yesterday it was mentioned pure by Elsevier. There are other possibilities like symplectic by Digital Science or Ex Libris by Esploro, but we took Dspace CRIS by ForScience because it is open source system. And yes, commercial possibilities, they could be convenient, but still they bind us on their decisions. And they are, we should note, are quite expensive. And you should pay for license every year. And if you want to change something to make it more convenient, adaptive to your university, it also costs money. And we wanted to be independent in using this tool. So also Lithuanian language was one of the challenges too, because those commercial possibilities usually are in languages which are more used in the world. Lithuanian is used by very little population. So we decided to develop our current research system on open access product, and also because we very much promote open source science and encourage it. So here you can see the picture, how it looks now in our web. And you can see here that, it's not only publications, books, departments, projects, profiles of our researchers, but also it's related to analytical platforms, to social platforms, and we can do also all kinds of reports using this tool, and also to make decisions as it was told by Mark yesterday. So if very shortly go through the functions of this current research information system, so we made it on, before we had Dspace, where we kept and preserved our publications. Now we have about 15,000 open science publications. And it is not only books, publications of our scientists, but also master theses, doctoral dissertations, and so on. And as you see, every publication has his permanent and unique URL address. You can see its altmetrics and bibliometrics. You can also preserve these publications. In this repository, we also preserve our 20 journals, more than 20 now, which are open access to. So also for copyright, you can see the license, Creative Commons license. And for researchers, we have also now profiles. I remember that before it was the problem of every department or center how they will have a profile, and now it has the common framework, and every profile also has its own permanent address. You can see publications, projects, bibliometrics about every researcher. You can see about not only science research, but also our awards, teaching, expertise, departments, other, for example, if it is publication, you can see other researchers the academic is working with. And of course, you can do all kinds of reports, assessments, statistics together or as one, and so on. And what is also important, it is related to other platforms, and like ORCID, Scopus, ResearchGate, Academy. There are other links with Wikipedia, Google Scholar, Delphi, which is even media. So all kinds of links also is available at this profile. Very good information for our partners, I think, is about projects. At the moment, we are carrying on more than 180 international projects. And here, every project also has its unique permanent address. It's easy to send our partners in order they would click on it and to check about it. And it is possible to find coordinator, department, state of the project, funding, abstract of the project, and everything, of course, also is related to other profiles which were mentioned. Research field, for example. And departments, clusters, which are related, or if we need any reports about the performance of the department, we can find also in this system. And as well, publication, research project is related. It's very important for assessment and evaluation. And as it was mentioned, very important that this current research information system would be related to analytical platforms like Web of Science or Scopus, also Altmetrics like usage, Google Scholar, page views, downloads, citations. It's quantitative and qualitative information which is available. Also, it's possible to see not only usage, but geography from where it was downloaded. Also, here you can see reports we can do from this all information we need to provide, for example, to our Lithuanian Research Council in order to receive budget for research. So I return to my example that was in the beginning. So even if it is very small step forward, I think it matters, and we hope that very soon our impact and other indicators of visibility will be better because of better web visibility. And even those rankings which are not Webometrics, but like QS, like Leiden, like Shanghai, U-multi-rank systems, they also rely now more and more on web indicators. So web indicators is getting more important in rankings. Also, commercial websites, they understand the value and significance and impact of commercial institutions, understand the impact of websites. It is not always the case with academia, not always the case with universities. And on the quality of websites, indeed, the visibility and branding can depend much. And for example, there is quite big divide, and research show between United States and European Union in web presence, and not for the benefit of European Union, unfortunately. And there are different reasons for that. For example, language. Yeah, we already yesterday said that English language is legacy for academia, and it is very difficult to escape that legacy. But indeed, because of language, the presence, the visibility of web page depends a lot. I didn't mention, but maybe you noticed that our web page is in 2 languages. It is English and Lithuanian. So those countries which use it, for example, Nordic countries, their web pages, web presence is much better than, for example, Italian, French, or Japanese universities. So I go already, to conclusions, and conclusions are as follow. There is correlation between web presence and quality of an institution, but the contrary is not always true. There are some prestigious universities that underperform in Webometrics, and maybe because of insufficient motivation or erroneous decision. Also, there are some specific challenges for better visibility, like that are related to findability of university mergers, frequent changes of domains, using robot barrier designs, and so on. And as I said, language could matter. Also because duties of academia are very much related mostly to publications, not to commitment to the visibility. So it also not help to be more visible. So we should change our attitude in this regard. So thank you so much for your attention and waiting for your questions.